Hello everyone, my name is Daryl and today I'll be discussing about Gillette cutting prices to regain shares. Just a quick background about the brand. Gillette was founded by King C. Gillette, who worked as a traveling salesman. While developing the blade, he was inspired by his employer, William Painter, who made fortune inventing the disposable bottle cap. Long story short, the company was with a disposable razor was founded in 1895 with its original name American Safety Razor, which soon renamed in 1901 as Gillette Safety Razor Company. Despite considerable economic success in the competitive market, Gillette's personal fortune was ruined in 1929 stock market crash. The company was forced to be part of Procter and Gamble company subsidiary, and up until this day, Gillette is still a part of the Procter and Gamble company. Overview of this study. After losing market share to low-price competitors such as Harry's and Dollar Shave Club for several years, Gillette decided to fight back by launching new products and increasing advertising. When these efforts failed to stem the losses, Gillette decided to cut the prices on its razors and blades in April of 2017. Bonnie Herzog, an equity analyst at Wells Fargo, must assess how the recently announced price cuts are likely to affect Gillette's earnings and its parent company's earnings. As I mentioned a while ago, Procter and Gamble owns Gillette. As part of her analysis, Herzog must estimate the price elasticity of demand for Gillette's razors and blades. The case contains data which allows us to calculate both price price elasticity for a sample of Gillette products and sufficient data to estimate the financial impact. So I will discuss more about the financial impact of the competitors later on. Based on P&G's segment financial information for the fiscal year ending June 30 of 2016, grooming segment which Gillette is part of has the lowest net sales with only 6.815 million, while it has the largest total assets of 22.8195 million. This means that there are a lot of stocks for these segments that are needing to be sold. We'll also need to take note that DSC started on 2011, and based on P&G's grooming division financial information, the sales growth of the grooming division standard is started to plunge from 2012 to 2016, having a negative growth rate starting 2013. This is a clear indication that their sales are hurting due to emerging competitors in the market. So right now I will discuss more about the current situation of the company. Well, as far as 2016 is concerned. Before the startup companies emerged in the shaving business, Gillette and Chic controlled around 90% of the US market. Not long after, subscription-based razor companies like Dollar Shave Club and Harry's disrupted the giants of the industry. Though Gillette is still undoubtedly the leading brand on the industry, like I would say up until this day, the rise of DSC and Harry's shrunk top dog Gillette shares from 70% to 50%. That is a whooping 20% less than its previous market shares in just 6 years. In 2016, the company announced that Gillette would be lowering its prices on men's shaving products by an average of 12% starting April of the following year. This is the product or an outcome of the emerging companies that are trying to slice Gillette's and Chic's respective market shares by providing subscription-based products on a lower price. First, personally, if you would say that you're offering a razor that is cheaper than my usual overpriced product, I would say yes to that. Let's be honest. Razor is one of those commodities for men that we buy because we need it, but at the same time, we can also choose not to need it. I know it's my description is kind of like it's confusing, but that's how I feel it. How I feel about razors. You know, with more and more companies and societies making scrubs as a norm, we can safely say that cheaper razors are in demand right now. So Right now, I will discuss more about the marketing research and how or what are the ways that Gillette did for this outcome of price reduction on their products. So shaving can be divided into two categories: wet and dry shaving. According to a survey conducted in 2013, 59% use wet shave razors, those with use shaving cream, while 30% use electric and 5% did not use any shaving products at all. Wow, they don't shave. This type of data is what our book calls descriptive research. This research is undertaken to describe answers to questions of who, what, where, when, and how. Well, in this case, it's the what or how the respondents are answering. Why is this important to know? The information given can be used to predict a variable of interest such as sales. With information in our mind, we can safely say that with all the men around the US, only 59% of them can be considered as a direct market to Gillette because the brand falls into wet shave razor category. Though women can also be potential market to penetrate in the shaving industry, it is also accounted that the industry is still dominated by men in large part because men shave more frequently. But as we noticed in the last couple of years, it has become more acceptable in work and society as a whole not to be clean shaven, which prompted the Experian marketing services to proclaim that scruff is in. So it is more becoming like a normal thing. People, because before people think that if you have a stash or beard, you're kind of like a dirty person. But now it's more common. It's more common right now. Most of the basis of the price cut are from the company's own data from its financial statements. This can also be called as the company's internal secondary data. As we recall, the internal secondary data analysis is part of the company's marketing information system or MIS. This database can contain information on customers, sales, supplies, and any other facet that the company wishes to track. In early of 2016, P&G's Chief Financial Officer John Mueller released a statement regarding the price cut of Gillette razors. He said, and I quote, "It's very simple. We need to grow the top line, build margins, and be efficient in turning earnings into cash to sustainably deliver top third total shareholder returns. This is important to understand as you consider our commitment to top line growth." And I end quote. You might ask, where is this coming from? I would say that he based his statement on the company's financial information. These data, as mentioned earlier, are part of the firm's internal data or the data that they have. As I've said, the financial statements that they have, they base this price reduction on the financial data, their internal data. Another data that was used in their decision to cut their price is the external secondary data that they gathered. These data are the price comparison across razor brands in 2016 and the price and cross price elasticity of demand within the razor industry. The sources of this data can easily be found in reliable sources within the internet. You can actually just Google them, or you can even just like um, calculate on your own the price and demand elasticity of razor brands. So for the takeaway, razor industry is a sleeping industry until subscription-based startup companies like Dollar Shave Club and Harry's entered the scene. Though we can see the rise of these companies, DSC remained relatively unknown until it ran an edgy advertisement with the tagline, I quote, "Our blades are effing great," the F word, great, on YouTube in March 2012. Two things I want to discuss on DSC's marketing strategy here. I know it's not the Gillette I'll be discussing in a few minutes, but I believe that because of this marketing strategies, Gillette was shaken on its posted number one spot. First, the commercial is low budget. If you see the commercial, you'll notice that they only shot the commercial in the company's stock room and uses its own CEO and founder as the commercial's face with some workers. No fancy endorsers, just them by themselves. It doesn't matter. It doesn't actually even have a background music to it, except for the last seconds, which is just like around 98% or 95% of the commercial doesn't have a background music. The commercial is a pure introduction of the company, which has a feeling that touches millennial and those who wants to groom. This leads me to my second point. The commercial is direct to the point. Michael Dobbin, the founder of DSC, is clear to his message. Their razors are freaking great and stop paying overpriced razor which you might even forget to buy. Whoever thought of this brilliant idea, I must say, is genius. It's just pure advertisement, pure they serve what people want from them. On the other hand, Gillette released a controversial commercial about, I think, last year, which titled We Believe the Best Man Can Be. The commercial encircled the controversial topic of Me Too movement and talk about the line, boys will be boys. Most of the people that saw the commercial think that this commercial talks about toxic masculinity. People feel like Gillette is stereotyping all men are the same, which are doing the same social mistakes as bullying, sexual assaulting, and causing chaos to everywhere. Some took the commercial stand in a positive way, others feel like it's too much for men. Currently, the ad garnered 823,000 likes compared to 1.6 million dislikes in YouTube. So you'll be the judge for that, if it's good or if it's bad. Comparing these two companies' ads and how they deliver their messages, I would say that DSC did a great job on promoting their brand. I'll be honest, I'm a fan of commercials with messages in them like what Gillette did. But I would say that they should have did a good or great marketing research before they produced their commercial. They should have known what people think before they give their commercial to people. I'm a fan of Nike, Gatorade, and Budweiser Super Bowl commercials. They all have positive messages in them, and I believe that they did their research before creating their masterpieces. But as for Gillette, I think that they can do more, they can do better on researching with the people that they're serving their products. And I think because Gillette is has been like um, the brand ever since, like people think of razors as Gillettes, or sometimes they even call razors as Gillette even though it's not Gillette. Maybe it's a chic brand, they just call it Gillette, I don't know. But I think that with the emerging products in the industry like the Dollar Shave Club, the subscription based products, I think that Gillette needs to step up the game. They need to do more research on millennials. I feel like Gillette is leaning towards their original, what's it called? Their original market is starting to grow old, and with this new razor brands like the DSC or Harry's, the subscription based, because millennials right now they're kind of like the major market force right now, major market um, with everything. So what I believe is they need to step up their game. Gillette needs to step up their game and try to be more innovative in how they deliver their products, not just um, not just with their brands as seen as the higher end products. Of course, higher end means what's it called? It's not cheap. It's more expensive than the subscription based products, and millennials doesn't have a lot of money. So I think that millennials are leaning towards these subscription based products because they are cheap and they don't want to think of what they don't want to think if they need this product or not. They're kind of like the impulsive buyer. So with the subscription based, this is getting a lot more from the market rather than this Gillette, which is still waiting to be bought by by the millennials, and I don't know, in the supermarket with all this in inside this fancy what's it called, glass, pixie glass cabinets. But yeah, that's what I think about the market research, about um, the study on how Gillette cut its prices to serve or to be more competitive in the market. Thank you.